Hello everyone. So today is our final video in our quilt along. Today we'll be doing our flying geese border block, and then we'll need 4 squares for our corners, okay? So let's get started. Okay, to make our flying geese, we're going to need 12 rectangles that are 5.5 by 19 inches. I did mine in 2 fabrics, so that's why it says 4 and 8. Then our background fabric, 6 inches by 11 inches. Cut 12 of those, and then we will cut that rectangle diagonally, okay? Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you is how to make our border block. Cut it diagonally. So this is how I put it together, okay? Maybe you have a different way, but this is how I do it. So first I lay it on here, how it's going to look. Now I used white fabric that's reversible. It doesn't matter which side you use, it looks the same. So I lay it out like that, and then I roll it forward towards me. And I'm going to mark a scant 1/4 inch line on both ends, like that. Okay, I'm going to do it to both sides. So let me mark it real quick. Okay, so now I'm going to fold the rectangle in half and put a pin marking the center. Okay, so I think it's right there. Okay, so now I know where the center is. Let's check that. That doesn't look right. No, it's right. Okay, so there's the center of the block. So here are my half rectangles, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, so let's see. Let's pin this at a scant 1/4 inch. So you're just going to lay it out, and you'll check it by flipping it up. Okay, so let's see how it looks. There we go. So it's perfect. All right, so that's one side done. So let's look at it real good again. So we drew our 1/4 inch line right here. We came up about a 1/2 inch and intersected and laid the material right there. Okay, so that's where that corner of the fabric goes. Then we go and we look up here, and our pin is marking the center, and our scant 1/4 inch is going to intersect at that pin at 1 scant 1/4 inch. Let's do the other side. Okay, so here's our fabric. We have it marked. I'm going to lay it here like this. Okay. Let's try it again. Now you have to pin this because they move very easily. Okay. So let's lay it out. We're going to go about a 1/2 inch up and lay that mark. Then we're going to bring our fabric around to where that center pin is right there, and have our fabric intersect it right at 1/4 inch, scant 1/4 inch. So let's mark this. Okay, let's pin it at a scant 1/4 inch and see how it looks. Might have to pin it and repin it a couple times to get it to match up perfect, but you can do it. It's pretty easy. Just take your time. Not like you've sewn this down. You're just pinning it, getting it in place where it needs to be, okay? All right, so let's check this one. There we go. Look at that. Perfect. See? Pretty easy. You can do this. So there we go. That's how it looks. So when I go to the sewing machine, what I'm going to do is I'm going to unpin one of these top pins here and then flip it back. Sew my scant 1/4 inch seam along this one. Then I'll flip this up. Then I'll pin this one back down. Then I'll sew it a scant 1/4 inch this way. And then I'll flip this one up. And it'll be done. Pretty good. All right. So let's do some more flying geese. Okay, so I have all of my border blocks sewn together. So after you sew them together, then go ahead and make sure that you trim them up so they're the right size, which is going to be, the flying geese should be 5.5 by 19 inches. And then you will cut 4 corner blocks that are 5.5 inches square, okay? Okay, so now we're ready to sew our flying geese blocks together into 4 strips, one for each side of our quilt. So my layout was down, up, down on my flying geese pattern. Okay, so we're going to take 2 of our border strips that have just the 3 flying geese blocks on them, okay? We're going to sew that to the top and the bottom of our quilt. Make sure that you intersect your seams between your flying geese and your blocks because they should all be the same size of 19 inches. Okay, so let's sew our top and bottom border on now. Okay, so on our other 2 border strips, we'll sew the 5.5 inch cornerstones to each end of the strip. Then we will sew that strip to the sides of our quilt. Make sure that you watch for those intersections. As you can see in the video, I put clips all the way down holding my border to my quilt. Okay, so here is a diagram of our border blocks, our flying geese and our cornerstones. And inside there is the measurements for each piece that you're going to need for your border, okay? Okay, so what I'm showing you next is layout 1 and layout 2 for the border blocks. The only difference between layout 1 and layout 2 is that the flying geese in layout 1 all point outward from the quilt. In layout 2, the flying geese alternate the directions. Okay, this is the layout that I used in my quilt. Now, after I sewed my border blocks onto my quilt, I added a 2.5 inch strip of my background fabric to go all the way around my quilt. My quilt is now finished at 69 inches square. So this concludes our quilt along. I hope you make the quilt. I hope you enjoyed the videos. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
Like and subscribe to Grandma's channel. Like and subscribe to Grandma's